Las Vegas, Nevada, the most exciting city in the world. Bright lights, 24-hour action, beautiful girls, unbelievable shows, and big stars. Over 40 million visitors a year experience it. But it wasn't always that way. In 1829, an 18-year-old Mexican scout was searching for a new trade route between Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Los Angeles. In his search, he discovered an oasis in the desert. Abundant with wild grass and ample supplies of water, his discovery was called Las Vegas, which means the Meadows. However, knowledge of its existence remained primarily limited to the Mexican traders and the Paiute Indians. That is, until explorer John Fremont put it on the map in 1844. In 1855, Brigham Young ordered 30 missionaries to Vegas to build a Mormon fort in hopes to teach the Paiute Indians farming techniques. The Paiutes, however, rejected the Mormons' help, and the fort closed in 1858. The area remained mostly unsettled until the arrival of the railroad. In 1904, work began on the first railroad grade into Las Vegas. Thanks to a good water supply, a town sprouted up consisting of saloons, stores, and boarding houses to accommodate the many railroad workers coming into town. The railroad workers were a hard-drinking and unruly bunch, inclined to get into fights over gambling and women. In an effort to put a stop to this problem, in 1910, Nevada passed an anti-gambling law. The new law was so strict, it was actually illegal to flip a coin for the price of a drink. Well, as you can imagine, this new law did not go over well with the rough and rowdy inhabitants. Within weeks, underground gambling began to flourish. The city population in 1911 was a whopping 800 people. By January 1931, the population of Las Vegas jumped to over 5,100 residents. Shortly thereafter, on March 19, 1931, a series of 3 moves were made that would permanently change Las Vegas's future. First, realizing the error of their ways, Nevada re-legalized gambling. A month later, gaming licenses were issued in Las Vegas. The first license going to Mamie Stocker's Northern Club, a soft drink emporium on Fremont Street. Unbelievably, Mamie Stocker had absolutely no experience with running a bar. However, she and her 3 sons managed to parlay the license into a fortune in spite of that fact. Mamie, who lived to be 97, died in 1972. Secondly, the state divorce laws were liberalized. With easy resident requirements, quickie divorces could be obtained in just 6 weeks. Many short-term dude ranches sprung up all over Nevada. These dude ranches made 6 weeks of living in the desert much more palatable and a lot more fun. Hollywood stars and laymen alike flocked to Nevada to get their divorce. The third reason was the beginning of construction on the Hoover Dam. This generated a population boom and an economic abundance for the Las Vegas community. Small-town Las Vegas would soon be on its way to becoming the entertainment and gambling capital of the world. But the influx of people and money would later earn Las Vegas another name, Sin City. The first strip casino to appear in Las Vegas was the El Rancho Vegas. It opened its doors on April 3, 1941. The El Rancho was considered Western America's finest hotel and casino. On June 1, 1960, Chicago mobster Marshall Caifano approached El Rancho owner Belden Cattleman and tried to muscle in on his casino. Cattleman and his security guards threw Caifano into the street. A few weeks later, on June 17th, after Harry James and his beautiful wife Betty Grable had performed their show on stage, a fire broke out in the dressing room area. The El Rancho Vegas mysteriously burned to the ground. Belden cattlemen left town, and the El Rancho Vegas was never rebuilt. The Chicago mob had sent a message. The last frontier followed on October 30th, 1942. Later, it was renamed the New Frontier. It had the distinction of hosting Elvis Presley's first Vegas appearance years later in 1956. The next Strip property to arrive on the scene in December of 1946 was the one that is acknowledged as the first of those backed substantially by mob money, Bugsy Siegel's Flamingo. Along with his beautiful girlfriend, Virginia Hill, Bugsy Siegel would change the face of Las Vegas for years to come. Unfortunately for Bugsy, it would lead to his demise. Following Bugsy's lead in Las Vegas, mob influence from all over the country began to take their stake in Sin City's open town. In 1949, mobster Mo Dalitz found a failed casino project that offered great opportunity. With the help of the Cleveland mob, Dalitz purchased the Desert Inn Casino. Although the signs read Wilbur Clark's Desert Inn, Clark was just a host. Mo Dalitz was the real boss. The Desert Inn was the Strip's fourth resort. It opened on April 24th, 1950. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, the mob controlled most, if not all, of the gambling casinos in Las Vegas. But the mob's influence would reach its pinnacle in the 1970s and 80s with the appearance of these two men, Frank Lefty Rosenthal and Tony the Ant Spilotro. In the 1970s, the Chicago mob instituted a skimming operation at the Stardust Hotel and Casino. It is estimated that they were stealing over $300,000 a month off the top of the casino profits. Frank Rosenthal was placed in the position of entertainment director at the Stardust. But this was just a front. His real job was to watch over the skimming operation. Tony Spilotro was brought into Vegas to make sure no one skimmed the skim. His reputation as a ruthless enforcer ensured no one did. Their reign of corruption ended when Frank's car was bombed, and Tony and his brother Michael were beaten to death and buried in a shallow grave near the edge of an Indiana cornfield. Las Vegas has earned the title, the entertainment capital of the world. It attracts the best entertainers and shows on earth. With its bright lights and glamour, it's considered to be the most exciting city in the world. Even the town's slogan sets it apart from all others. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Besides, where else in America could a mobster's attorney become the town's mayor? Tonight, you will see the dark and mysterious side of this neon city. Welcome to the Vegas Mob Tour.